Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of MC Anime. I'm MC Anime and fellow co-host. Uh,
Hey everyone, it's Leah again.
we're back with another episode for the 21st episode. So this is a really interesting as we conclude the Elemental series. Which element are we doing today, Leah?
So our last but not least element is going to actually be water. It's really common. Um, Everyone I think has a basic understanding of water abilities, but there are some really cool
Yeah.
characters out there from different varying anime. So we're going to
Mhm.
talk about them today.
And don't forget, water's life. Water gives you life. You were made of water, so hey. And most of the ocean surface, 70% is water. So there you go. It's a very dominant part of life, and it's very powerful.
It's honestly all around us. It comes
It's
up
ever
in,
consuming.
yeah, considering it's the life force of our world. I mean, there's so many movies that I don't know what it is. It's like Signs is one of them where like the
Uh-huh.
aliens come down because of course the earth is made up of water and that's their only life force. So I don't know. I like seeing how water is used in fiction, especially in animes,
Uh-huh.
for actual abilities, because you would
Yeah.
think that fire or lightning, heck, even earth abilities would be like the most intense, but there's some water users out there that are pretty overwhelming.
Oh yeah. And speaking of water users, the ones we are covering today is Sailor Mercury from Sailor Moon,
Hmm.
Tanjiro from Demon Slayer, Tsukiumi from Sekirei, and Kisame from Naruto. So, you want to introduce Sailor Mercury for the audience?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. So Sailor Moon is a very like OG anime that's been around for years and years. And it basically is like kind of like the crux, like the blueprint of magical girl based animes. Um, Within the show, there is a team of again Sailor Scouts who fight against all different types of evil. And Sailor Mercury is actually a part of the team. She is the one who has the blue hair, blue skirt. Everything about her screams like aqua. Um, and she uses water based attacks. Her name outside of Sailor Mercury
Yeah.
is Amy Mizuno.
Yeah.
So she's there the whole time. She's super intelligent. She's into computers, and her powers are based in water and in ice. So yeah,
Interesting. And for anyone that doesn't know, Sailor Moon is really interesting because the different variations with protecting in the galaxy and Earth is really sub high on the list. And yes, Leah is a Magical Girl fan, which you can't blame her.
who doesn't like magical girls?
I mean, maybe not.
I feel like everyone there
Hmm.
is a magical girl show out there for everyone. You
Yeah.
will find yours. It doesn't have to be Sailor Moon, but
Oh
the
yeah.
feats in the show are pretty insane. Basically, if you like anything like Saint Seiya or Dragon Ball, anything that's like big, over the top, crazy, breaking sound barriers and distorting all of reality. If you like stuff like that, you're absolutely gonna love Sailor Moon.
Mm.
And you're gonna enjoy Sailor Mercury as well. Everybody on the team has their own personalities, but she's pretty
Oh,
fun and lighthearted. She was my favorite scout
yeah.
growing up. So
And also Sailor Moon, you can watch in the dub the
very
cousins
true.
instead of the siblings. I think it was so weird, but
It it's a great show. And I mean with Sailor
mm,
Mercury, like she does have a long list
yeah,
of attacks, and also with Sailor Moon, naturally they come equipped with Like they have a like power
Yeah.
stick, Mercury crystal, and Mercury goggles.
Yep.
She has her transformation pin because a big theme within Magical Girl
Yeah.
shows is that they have a very like transformative
Hmm.
sequence, so that way they can get into uniform. Think Power Rangers if you can't get like a clear visual, but they
Yeah.
but for her she has things like her Aqua Mist, um the hyperspatial sphere generate,
Hmm.
her aqua illusions, her snow illusions, her Mercury aqua rhapsody. Like all of her moves,
Yep.
whether defense or attack, are very powerful. And she only
And
gets stronger as the show goes on.
actually, a good thing about her name, Amy, is like beauty, and then Mizuon, her last name, is actually of the water, so you can say beauty of the water in the like little translation of the name. So she has the birthstone, blue sapphire. Go figure, water, Virgo, but she's really she retains a civilian appearance, but wears a gold tiara on her forehead. Dominant color is blue, different shades of blue. Um, I don't know. I really like her as a character. She's shy, but also did make not much friends. I don't know. Studying and reading books. What do you think of that personality?
Studying
Spend
and
time
reading
alone.
books.
Yes, you spend time alone studying and reading books, not as social as very shy.
I mean, that seems like an introvert personality. I got a couple of friends who are like that, where they just like to chill. I mean, she still has like a
Hmm.
group of four other girlfriends.
Yeah,
Um, so like that's the great thing about the show.
all
Yeah,
fighting
that
galactic battles across the universe.
yeah, so like that's the cool thing about it. Almost anybody can watch the show and kind of
Hmm.
find a personality. They're like, I get that. I think it's fine that she's more low key and she's just trying to like study and go through
Hmm.
school and keep the earth from exploding. Like, like casual
Mm.
things, just girly things.
Oh
Um
my.
and it's like so throughout the show and throughout the different different spin-offs of the series. Like she goes from like she starts like when you meet her, she's 14. So like you
Yeah.
can't be upset that she wants to study. If anything, I think that's what most parents want. But she's like it shows her from age like 14 up to 22, and her power levels keep increasing. Like so when she starts off, she's like her attack potency is like city level. Like she could take out a city with her attacks. She could destroy robots with her like her aqua mist
Yeah.
and her ice abilities. But by
I
the
like
time you
Mercury
like
Aqua Rhapsody.
yeah, like by the time
Just
you
to get
get
the
further in, she gets to the
uh
point where she's like able to mess with stuff in the galaxy and in the universe.
yeah.
And you're like, oh, you can mess with the space time continuum. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think she's a great character. Um But then again, I am biased. Again, she was my favorite as a child, so
She might not be as blue as she wants to be, but she's still a really good character.
yeah.
But I think I don't know. I like the Mercury Aqua Rhapsody. That's just seems like an odd name to give an attack. Uh,
I mean,
I'm the
you
Rhapsody.
like even her transformation phrase because in
Yeah,
Sailor Moon everyone has like a phrase that they say. Hers is
yeah,
Mercury power up makeup. And it's
yeah.
like the show is definitely as girly as you can get with it, but it's great. Like I don't know. I
Hmm.
love it. I think and then when you see the attacks, you're like, oh, well, you got absolutely obliterated. It was beautiful. Like
Oh yeah.
the way their enemies get taken out, you're like, oh, how gorgeous. Nice funeral. Just like sparkles and
Mm.
rainbows and mystical light.
Okay, so this is what I don't get. How does a supercomputer and water even mix? How does that even work? Because doesn't water fly electronics?
It does, but I think that that's the cool thing about her is that while normally you would expect anything to do with electronics, anything to do with like electricity would probably be the opposite of what you want to have with water. She pairs it very well. Like she uses her intelligence, she uses her supercomputer to help the team get information,
Oh,
um, to track down solutions, and then at the same time, like
yeah.
she's not just beauty and brains. She's also got brawn. So like
Oh, yeah.
a
Especially the
great mix.
bonds you're crushing on right now. But the good thing about her, I really feel like, is that she brings the team together in a way that's very memorable. Like, yeah, she's the operations of the team, but being the operations, she's also the strategic planner and to figure out weaknesses to the enemy or maybe figure out their location and give the vital information or heads up that they need.
Yeah. I mean, throughout like because she's a T
Mhm.
brain, I don't know, I think that she's like great greatly needed because having
Mhm.
superpowers is one thing, but if you don't have strategy, it's a
Yeah.
little yeah, you're kind of putting yourself with your back against the wall. Um,
Yeah, and Lee with superpowers ain't gonna be really good. I don't know.
mhm.
You think you'd
Now,
be really good with superpowers?
me? Oh
Yeah.
no, I'd become a villain like right away. Oh, 100%. Like, never give me powers. I would abuse them immediately. The very first second that I get annoyed, it's like, let's go. It would it would be a mess. Like, if you've ever
I guess
seen The
we give you a
Boys,
magical. I guess we give you
mm-mm.
a magical wand and give you a supercomputer too.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
And the
surround
only
me with
villain.
friends. Yeah, you're gonna have to surround me with friends and like the power of friendship, something because you cannot
Oh
just
my
leave me
gosh!
unattended. That would be a
I mean,
terrible idea.
the Sailor Moon fandom is all for you. You can find all the friends you want, all the different servants of the galaxy. What do you think about that?
I feel like I would prefer to be a big bad. Like I love my friends, but like I totally be cool betraying my friends to be like a super villain. I'd be fine with that. I feel like we all
Mhm.
should like accept who we are and that's something I'm willing to put out there. 10 out of
Oh
10
my
would
gosh.
betray friends for superpowers.
Uh, oh my gosh. That's funny. And the pure heart crystal, what is that? Is that
What
what
now?
what's her technique? No.
What'd you say?
Wait, talk about the crystal change rod that she has.
The crystal change rod. Do you mean the wand that she has?
Yeah.
Well, that's
How
what
does she
every
use that? Like I know that allows it to evolve and more powerful. Like how does she use that with the water ability that she has? Mm,
Okay, so I do know like she has
mm,
the star power stick, which all the sailors have.
yeah.
And that was after like they had like these transformation pins and those
Mm,
got destroyed.
yeah.
Um, but those are just used to transform or to basically like switch into their magical ability. Because outside of that, they're just like normal girls, just hanging out, just doing girly things. But if you're talking about the what is it, like the
Mm,
Mercury crystal,
yeah.
it's just her blue crystal. It's just a part of her uniform. Like how all of them have like a heart
Mhm,
on their like on their like headband or like on their waist. Yeah,
yeah.
that's just to identify her as a Sailor Scout.
And I think the orbs of mystery crystal is like I don't know how to describe it. It's blue, but it has like a sleeping bird or something.
A sleeping bird.
I don't know. What how you describe it?
Her Sailor crystal?
Yeah, with the symbol on it.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Does it look like a bird?
I don't know. It looks like a bird going in a circle.
See, I feel like depending on which one you watch, because like some people, like some of the other Sailor Scouts, they have like a rose
Hmm.
or a flower. Like Sailor Moon has a crescent moon. Um, but I always thought hers was just a heart. I thought hers was just a blue heart.
It
I
might
don't
be, or
remember. I don't remember the bird, but
maybe I'm looking at a hop. I don't know.
you might be looking at one of her other forms.
Probably.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's a
she's
bird.
yeah, she's a well-rounded character.
Yeah, it's a
There's a
bird.
if you wanna if
Oh,
you
it is
do
a
want to
hawk.
watch
Never
it,
mind.
yeah, I was
It
like,
is a hawk.
keep saying bird, and I was like, I don't think
Well,
she
okay.
knows what a
Okay.
I
To my defense, the going in the circle of the bow of the harp looks like a bird to me because it has the eyes as the beak. I don't know, and it has the feathers in the back. That's what it looked like. But I had a different image and actually showing the harp. But it didn't
oh
show that in
okay
the other.
okay
Yeah.
because I was like I was looking too. I was like looking through pictures, and I was like, where do we see a bird? But if you do want to check it out, there's a Netflix movie right now that's out that you can watch for Sailor Moon. Like trust me, there is like
Hmm.
three different series, I believe, at this point, three of the main ones that you can go through. And then of course there's
Yeah.
like the
Also,
manga.
don't watch the. Try to watch the Japanese sub if you can. The
Oh
English
Jesus
dub
Christ.
just takes it away
If
so
you want to
weird.
watch dub, just watch dub. Like if you
But
speak
the dub
English,
of Sailor Moon it ain't that great. It's
it's
more.
completely
It's
fine. It's almost 2022. This whole sub
yeah.
versus dub thing. If you don't believe it, y'all better watch Ghost Stories. They show amazingly how much better dub can be than sub. So
No, no,
watch
no. I'm
whichever
talking
one you
about,
want.
but Sailor Moon is more of the dub version for kids. That's why it's not as great. It's the company who did it. They also have the bad censorship in Yu-Gi-Oh. So I don't think the for kids version is the best way to watch it. You know?
I mean, if they're watching the one that's on Netflix, it's not for the from
Yeah, yeah.
for
The one on
kids.
Netflix is fine, but the
Yeah,
for
like
kids version is just cringe.
so much
But
judgment. So much judgment.
I can't. Well, I can't see myself watching it like that. Not with everything being so drastically different and toned down, which doesn't need to be. Yeah. But anyway, let's go to Tanjiro from Demon Slayer.
So Tanjiro, he is. If you haven't seen Demon Slayer, it is like one of the great breakout shows that came from 2020. Essentially, it takes place kind of like back in I want to say feudal Japan because that's what I say for everything that has samurais, but do not
Yeah.
quote me on that. But it basically takes place in the universe of Japan back when samurais were still around and very prominent. And essentially, there are demons that exist at night. They look like
Yep.
humans. They have all different kinds of abilities that you will find through time. And it's essentially like humans who are either attacked by a demon in turn, or they turn into a demon through some process. But the main one,
Yep.
what is it? Muzen. He
Yeah.
looks like Michael Jackson. He looks like Michael Jackson. If you've seen an anime that has Michael Jackson in it, it's probably Demon Slayer. But essentially, Tanjiro
Yeah.
joins the Demon Corps uh, after losing his family and only
Yeah.
having his sister still be alive, Nezuko, who is also a demon. And the two of them basically travel around. They have their own little
Yep.
band of friends, and it's a great show. And for Tanjiro himself, he
He
uses a
takes
few
it very
different.
personal.
He takes
He
everything very personally. He is
yeah, he takes
my
it really
boy.
personal, but
My boy is
also he
emotional.
feels the sentiment of the demons who were once humans. So he doesn't necessarily want to kill the demons unless he has to. So it's still symbolic in his morals and ethical values while fighting the demons. we don't see as much because usually the demon hunters are just hunt the demons and hunt the next demon. He's
Um,
kind of like
I
a
wouldn't.
different stage
I
to
would
that.
not say that he doesn't want to kill them. That's the thing. Tanjiro will still give you hands while
Yeah,
crying over your grave. Like he
yeah, I
will
know.
kill you. He kills like whoever he fights. He is sobbing like, "Why did you make me do this? Why?" And like he gets very upset
Yeah,
because of course his sister's a demon, so he does understand the humanity of them and how they used to be human. And you get their backstories when he's fighting them, but it's
yep.
very funny because like he is the only one who is like sobbing really hard during a fight, but he's still cutting off body parts. Have no fear. He's not gonna sit there and like talk it through forever. He's still in the deep of
Oh
battle, like the heat of it
gosh,
all. It's
that
great.
reminds. Oh gosh, that's a weird stereotype that reminds me of.
What?
Oh, it's that fire that just keeps crying and just keep hitting you in battle. I'm sorry, I had to do this.
I
Oh
don't
my
know if that's even
gosh.
a stereotype. I feel like Tanjiro's like the like the biggest one I can really think of. Who else can you think of that cries a lot during his fight? I mean,
But
besides
it's just that
Deku.
stereotype that it's just that stereotype of the fighter crying in battle and they're completely thrown off guard. I've seen it
Yeah,
before. I just don't know which characters had it.
I don't know. Like the only characters I can think of is like um there's like what's his face from Neon and Devlon.
Yeah.
Shinji. Shinji is absolutely a mess. I think it's like Tamaguchi or whatever from
Yeah. Oh, Dishi.
Tokyo Revengers.
Yep.
Like Takamichi. I've never seen someone get their ass beat so consistently, but crying beforehand, like crying because he cares about his friends, crying because he's scared, crying because he's outside. Like I will say, in these newer animes and in some of the old school ones, there are just characters who just be balling. You're right. You're
And
just
also
like,
that
okay,
villain.
buddy.
It's also that villain that just keeps crying and they keep fighting you. Oh my gosh. That the villains that cry
Those are
also can be
terrifying.
interesting. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
I don't like for the heroes. I'm just like, come on, buddy, get through it. You can do it. I feel like a little league coach, but for like for the enemy, I'm like, kill it, kill that thing. Oh no! If imagine someone beating you up and then crying about it as if you caused this problem to happen. I'm like, no, you're trying to take over the world and like eat babies, and they're like,
It's
well, I
more
wish you
it
wouldn't be
happens
so
more
upset
with the
about it.
villains than the heroes, actually.
Yeah, it's just like this is absolutely terrible. Can't live
That's
this
what it
life.
reminded me of the villains that crying. Oh my
Like this is what
gosh.
therapy sessions are made of. Like absolutely the worst.
Yeah.
But but
I
back to
want to discuss the
Tanjiro.
therapy sessions with you. I don't know what we have resolved.
They're just going through a tough time.
Uh,
Like they, it's just tough being a demon out here. But for
yeah.
Tanjiro, when he goes through his training, one thing that's very important for demon slayers is breath technique and total
Yes.
control concentration. I mean, total concentration breathing,
Yep.
which essentially is them learning how to control every bit of oxygen within their body for every cell, how to expand it, and having
Yeah.
that is like a very deep, like almost like hypnotic concentrated state where they are an absolute focus of every bit
Yep.
of their body. And it allows them to
And
do these
yeah.
very superhuman feats.
And with Tanjiro, his technique is water breathing, so his affinity is water in the
Hmm.
nature he's able to wield.
Yeah.
Water breathing, you visualize it mimics water, especially the flow, flexibility, adaptability of the fluid, and replicates it with the user's movements. Involve the user bending their body, arm, and weapon in a fluid motion to match the movements of the flowing water. They visualize themselves seemingly creating and manipulating water when releasing these techniques. So yeah, not only does he have to master the breath technique, but he also has to be in synchronization with his affinity of water to visualize. Like you have to visualize the water before you wield the nature in combat. I think it's kind of cool actually, because you had to take the total concentration and still be aware of what you're doing and have that self awareness to do the fighting with your affinity. What do you think?
Um, I love it, but I will say it's very harrowing to see because
Mm-hmm.
they also make it very clear that like if you do something wrong or you
Yeah.
like it's kind of I don't know like it's the equivalent to me in like real life terms of like
Mm-hmm.
someone who does calisthenics, like when you're watching
Mm-hmm.
people who are able to lift their whole body off the ground with just two
Yeah.
hands. Um, and like just extreme physical control of yourself. But if you do it wrong, you
Oh
could
yeah.
just break everything. You can just ruin your body. Or like when we see his training sequence in the beginning,
Oh yeah.
um, coming down the mountain that he has to come down and he has to control his breathing because if he allows too much air to go out and too much air to go in,
Oh yeah.
he could just explode his lungs.
They're
Like I
coming
don't
down the
know.
mountain when they come. They're coming
Yeah,
down the mountain when they come. Coming
yeah,
down the mountain. Coming
but then
down the
your
mountain
heart
when
explodes.
they
It's
come.
like,
Yeah.
uh,
Tanji's gonna come around the mountain and you have unexpectedly water going from everywhere.
and you're like, oh, okay, that's nice. And so it's amazing to see like how he gets
Mhm.
to a certain point, but it's all they also show you tons of other people who basically do have knowledge of total control,
Mm.
total concentration, breathing, and all that, who are other like newbie demon slayers, but you just see them get murked, absolutely obliterated. It's
Oh
because
yeah.
especially if they can't like do their technique,
Hmm.
it's tough. You'd be like, oh, light a candle for that man, R.I.P. But for Tanjiro, he does have 10 forms for his
Yeah.
water technique.
Yeah.
You do see him going through them, his water breathing style,
Hmm.
and it does come in the form of essentially looking like waves. If you have seen
Hmm.
any art for it, and that has to be also mentioned, the studio who does it,
Yeah.
they are amazing in the
Yeah.
animation of the art. That's what most people talk
Yeah.
about. The story is kind of like your typical like shonen story, but
Yeah.
the artwork and the music definitely set the show apart from other ones that came out in the same year. Um, but it does look like rushing waves with a lot of like that like water foam that goes around for like each layer of the wave
Oh
and as
yeah.
he slices through. So that's the cool thing about it. It looks so beautiful. And then you just realize he cut off someone's head and that
Whoa.
person is dead. So
I like his ability of transparent willed. Gain the ability to perceive opponent's attack by analyzing perceiving the opponent's blood flow, muscles, skeletal joint alignment, and organs. What the? That's freaky. What do you
I
think about
mean,
that? You
I wouldn't
analyze
call
like
it freaky. I think
no,
it's
yeah.
really smart. It's what you need in battle, especially for demons. Like,
Oh
kill
yeah,
them. Like Tanjiro is not in the wrong for like, and he also has a
yeah.
superior sense of smell. So his
Oh
sense
yeah.
of
That's
smell is
weird,
superhuman.
wicked smell. And also with
Like,
transparent world, I think is really good with the water affinity that he has. Because not only are you able to see the different structures of the human body, but I feel like the connection to water, the water allows you to see that, to perceive those actions. And I don't know, it might be a stretch to stretch it like that, but I think he senses the water and the movement within the body itself.
yes. Like it's with the air and also
Hmm.
like with his air and breathing,
Oh yeah.
he can fit the shift in that as well.
Uh,
So it's a great anime if you're watching how they
mhm.
combine kind of like also the different elements that we've talked about as well in the show,
Yeah.
how that's utilized for him to win in battles. And also the other demon slayers that you get introduced to, you get to see how they also utilize these skills as well. And
And
it's just it's fantastic.
oh yeah, the selfless state as you unlock the transparent world, completely erased his presence from the battlefield. So yeah, you oh so I don't know, I like selfless state too. It's like you're using the water vapor around you to bend the sunlight to make you disappear, kind of thing.
Well, yeah,
That's
so
not,
like it's the essential to kind of like, normal vampires where
yeah,
if they get caught in the sunlight, they die.
yeah.
But I mean, also cutting off their head does it as well.
So yeah, it's totally possible to bend the water vapor around you. So when people see you in the light refraction, you're not reflected at all because you can manipulate the color effect and people when you how you perceive color. Now that is something that can be done, but I'm also theorizing about some of this, so I'm not totally accurate, but I'm just making that connection because it's kind of cool. Because why not?
I think it's cool. I think it also helps you kind of learn a bit more of like how like
Hmm.
nature works and how it can be used, which is a great way to show with water in itself its duality, just like all the other elements. It can be very peaceful and very calm, or very deceptive and very strong.
Oh
It's
yeah,
both of
it's
those.
just like different effects you can use, like the rainbow or crystal-like appearance, and you know, water vapor being heavy, and then all of a sudden you can maybe manipulate the weather if you have enough. It really goes to show you that it can be different. If users have different imagination, they can possibly create different techniques.
Yeah, absolutely. It's also their own personal will, and
Yeah.
like if they're determined enough, they can almost make anything happen. You see it with all the users on this list.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because without it, I don't think they will have the willpower or even the will to go on. Really.
Yeah, it's a special kind of like mental fortitude to
Yeah.
not only believe in yourself, but also have quick thinking and believe in your abilities so you can take out your
Oh,
opponent. Yeah.
and also, if you like Leo, you can like, ha ha ha! I'm ahead of you. I can predict your movements. So yeah, I'll punch you right when you get to my left side.
I mean, it has always been my dream to like be in a battle and when someone goes to punch, catch it and then do that anime like smirk chuckle, just be like I predicted your attack. And it's like
Oh
I
my
want
god.
that. That's what I live for. That's what a girl really dreams about. Forget the jewelry. Forget the nice cars. Give me the ability to just predict an enemy's movement and then like push my glasses up my face. And they're like, I
Oh
bet
my
you're
god.
wondering how I
You
knew
wear
this.
glasses too. Oh my
Oh,
god.
absolutely. I'm going full villain. I'm going Aizen from Bleach. It's going all the way there. No stop.
Isaac doesn't know. You know. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Welcome to my villain art.
Welcome to her crushing on Eisen too. Simping for Eisen. I knew that
Simping
would
for
be a thing.
Aizen. Gay gang.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, we're gonna go in another discussion about another character. Um, uh, Tsukiumi from Sakurai. And anyone that doesn't know what Sakurai is, it's a show where the people summon Sakurai, and when doing so, they're caught up in this technique to do battle for like I think there's like 8 different things they're trying to do to control all the Sakurai. But it's a really interesting anime in that appeal. Um, so what do you think of it so far?
Of Sakura. One, it is in the genre that like we've talked about it in previous episodes for like anime genres we hate.
Hmm.
It is kind of like a harem anime. It's literally like one
Hmm.
19-year-old boy and then like maybe two or three other
Yeah.
dudes who are kind of there but not really. But the main guy,
Yeah.
for Minato, he basically just gets to be this
Hmm.
underachieving failure of a man, and then he just gets like blessed with like a harem of
Yeah.
very powerful like attack, like kind of like almost like battling
Oh yeah.
women, like battleship type women.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I
And
mean,
all of them have
it's a good
affection to
anime.
him. All
Yeah,
of them
they're
have
all
affection.
interested. You have every personality type when it comes to like the anime girl.
Oh yeah.
The ones who are like really shy and like him, the ones who are very obvious in their attraction to him, the ones who are pervy, the ones who are like, oh no, I hate him, but I like him.
Yeah.
Like it's you have all of them. You're like, this is not
Oh
a
yeah.
healthy way to establish relationships. But it is a great
Yeah.
show. Their powers and abilities are great. And if you like that old school kind of like anime drawing
Yeah.
style, with the kind of like longer oval
Hmm.
eyes, the very disproportionate
Yeah.
like body shape, um, and also like of course the accidentally like ichi
Yeah.
pervert situations, you'll like this with
And it's
plenty of
also
attack.
very tame in the harem genre and ecchi. I don't really think it's like it's not overboard like others, but the supernatural element actually saves the show more because it actually focuses on that more than the harem. Well, it has a harem in it, but there's not much ecchi in it. Sakurai are extraterrestrial race of superpowered humanoids, physically indistinguishable from humans with similar genetic codes. So yeah, the basically warrior type class disguised as humans,
Yep.
and he the Minto, the main character, actually has I think four that he has, but he attracts them to him by being a nice guy and a nice personality. So he's
He is
really
kind of like a
fortunate.
pushover.
Yeah,
They make it clear that he's not he's not like the type to be like, hey, no,
yeah,
stop it. He's definitely like, hey guys, come on, we could talk this out. Meanwhile, the women are like, nah, we should just go straight to murder, murder, kill zone. Like we don't have time for all of this. Forget the nice words. Send the horde. It's great.
it's like they know how to do business, where he just like to do everything in a nonchalant way. And there's also a Naruto prayer that they do with their technique. Prayer is this water represents my pledge. Purify the evil residing in my Chutabi. You know. So, she says that, and then there's also like different forms of it. But like that is her way to start out, like how similar when the Sailor Mercury transforms, she has like the solar power up and stuff like that. Pledge is similar to and initiating that fighting style. So what do you think of the
Hmm.
Naruto? Like it,
Um,
or is
I don't know. I feel like
it
that's
kind of
like
weak?
it's a classic trope. Like having that
Yeah.
that particular saying is like if you have like a
Hmm.
smart house and you're like, hey Alexa, and that's what I think of it is. It's like if you wanna get to that next level, this is what you have to say. But she is very strong and
Oh
she's
yeah,
very intense. So I don't think it takes away from anything
yeah.
that she does.
And she's also Minato's fourth Sekirei, so that's pretty cool. Oh gosh, Minato in a dream saying that she would kill him. This was due to a desire to be the strongest without being okay. She's okay. So she's like, I think the Tsukiri persona, if I'm
Yeah,
not
she
mistaken.
has a Sundari she will attack if necessary.
Yeah,
She is
She's
not
really
great
quick
with
in battle.
communication. Yeah, she's not great with communication. That's something we have to
Yeah,
work on. But she is very loyal as well. Like
yeah.
I think you see that with almost all tsundere types in most of these shows, especially in these kind of like harem
Mhm.
group shows, like Konosuba like has stuff like that as well, where
Oh
it's
my
like, of
gosh,
course,
Konosuba.
I
Oh,
almost added Aqua to this list because I was like,
yeah.
she would fit, but
She
she
would
didn't have as
fit.
many. Yeah, she doesn't have as many feats. I mean, just because her name's Water doesn't mean that she
I mean,
beats out
doesn't
the others.
she's very
But
Aqua just I don't even sometimes you don't even you can't even tell that she's a goddess. It's just so
she is
disappointing.
really, really good at her job.
Yes.
She has never had a performance review in her life with the
Oh
way
my
she be
gosh.
behaving on the show. But back back to our character.
Yeah.
So Tsukumi, she is a Tsunara. She does
Mhm.
like Minato, our main character. She's just very aggressive in everything she does. She's very loyal, even though she gets really
Oh
jealous
yeah.
and she doesn't like anyone like touching her or being
Mhm.
close to her besides him. And she's very prideful.
Yeah.
And she also speaks in the old Japanese language. So like it's like
Yeah.
similar to how if you think of modern English and then think of Shakespearean
Yeah.
English, that's basically the way she talks.
And she also has the ability to control and manipulate water, capable of generating large quantities directly from her on the surrounding air. I don't know. She's she's a very strong type personality. Like she's very
Mm,
protective.
yeah.
Well,
Well, I
also
think
I
that
would
just makes her a lot
yeah
more fearsome in battle. I don't
yeah
know.
true.
I like people. I'm gonna be honest. I definitely prefer characters who are 100% about it from the start of the fight.
Mhm.
I am not a huge fan of the people who are like kind of like calmly or timidly fighting, and then they see their loved one getting hurt, and they're like, "Oh, I guess I should get serious now." I'm like, we should have been serious from the start. We've got stakes here, people. We got lives on the line.
Oh
So
yeah, and the
I do like that she fights hard every
and
time.
the extra piece in the Naruto that was like she mentioned in the manga that actually really signifies her strong, aggressive personality. As a storm approaches, white clouds grow and tides rise suddenly. The final wave. So
I think she only mentions that part. Doesn't she only do
yeah,
that once though?
yeah.
I
She
don't
only
think she
does
does it
that
every
once,
time.
but she only does that once. I think the time she did it, I think it was like to start up the powers and then just do the pledge from there. The pledge.
Yeah.
But
But
that really just, you know, shows her personality when it comes to aggressiveness, but also determination to fight in battle. With me, as mostly. And then we get into the attacks, and it's kind of interesting because we have like the Yano Orochi actually, which is basically eight-headed snake, also eight forked serpent. What do you think of that attack?
eight-headed snake attack. Well, for
Yeah,
one, that's just a dope name in general. Hold on, I do want to see what the formation looks like.
yeah,
Ooh, gotta learn to spell. Oh, and it's for an actual god for mythology and
yeah,
everything, an actual
yeah.
dragon god. Some of these images are terrifying. So I'm gonna go with 10 out of 10 out of that one. Honestly, like I would say out of everybody we've covered so far, her
Yeah,
her attack style does very much so. Everyone on this list, their attack styles does
yeah.
mimic like their personality, but for hers to be like an eight-headed like serpent and demon, I don't know. I just think that's great. I'm just like, oh yeah, murder them. Get in there. Do
She
it.
also
Do
has
it.
the water arrow, the Hydra blast, which is pretty cool. The water blade, um,
Water
Mizui,
celebration.
Yeah, water festival of water celebration. Water dragon, you know, pretty good.
I will say that the water celebration, the like
Hmm.
Mizu Iwa,
Yeah,
for that one, it basically looks like water bending.
yeah,
Like it looks like she's water bending, like like last airbender style. It is not to
yeah,
say it's bad, but I do know it's not her strongest one. But she can
yeah.
basically she does have that like storm ability. She is able to take the water in the air just around her, water droplets in the air around you, and then cause it to come into like a whip formation and
Oh
chase you
yeah.
out and attack her enemies. So
And
just
she
she's
also,
great.
yeah.
Now, how would you rank her against the other
Uh,
two? Like if you had to put her up to fight either Tanjiro um or
I
Sailor
really
Mercury.
think
I feel like
I'm
she'd probably
I'm
better
not
against
I'm not
Tanjiro.
like want to like downgrade the other characters anyway, but like I feel like she's more most experienced in combat. Or Tanjiro is like getting that experience. But he also I don't like if they were facing her in battle. I don't really feel like they'll have any sentiment to fight her. Really,
No, I don't think any of these characters would actually fight each other. Like these are
but like
this isn't
compared,
Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. This isn't a like
yeah, compared
just
to
being
the thing we have
outside to
so
fight.
far, I would probably rank Tsumi higher than Tanjiro. I rank Tanjiro second, and then solidly, but Sailor Mercury third, just because of fighting prowess and ability to fight. And because I know her role is more like support, but can also fight. You know, she's like, you know what
See,
Sailor Mercury
mine's is
reminds me of?
opposite. Hmm.
Sailor Mercury reminds me of that Omni Doctor who can heal your wounds, but also knows how to use a gun.
Oh, like Sailor Mercury, I think because I've seen how
Yeah.
far she goes,
Oh yeah.
like she would murk everybody on this list because she's able to manipulate space and
Hmm.
time after a certain point. But maybe like season one Sailor
Yeah.
Mercury, like original Sailor Moon, I could see her and maybe like they would both of these female characters would obliterate Tanjiro because Tanjiro would start crying
Yeah.
and they don't have time for that. But Tsukumi, I think her and Sailor
Yeah.
Mercury might be actually able to tussle if we're doing like season one for both of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, only in our minds. We'll never
And I
see this
think
death
my
match.
favorite attack is Steam Burst Dragon. It's just a massive launching of steam in the form of a dragon. It's a water attack. I think it's kind of cool.
She does
More
have
attacks.
a bit of dragon theme.
Yeah,
Like,
all the dragon and snakes is like, huh? It reminds me of like, that Hydra in Legend, the Hydra beast. You know, has multiple heads. They keep coming and going back. Well, water can do the same thing. You cut it off, it just comes back to reform itself.
yeah,
No, I
water
don't know.
based attacks are. I mean, if you're able to dry them out, you can
Yeah,
definitely you might have something, but I don't know. I also am that type of fan where like with
yeah.
Avatar the Last Airbender, I was like, how is anybody with air or water ability losing? Like if you can blood bend or just take the air out of
Oh
someone's lungs,
gosh.
it's easy. We're done. Season one, episode one. One. But I do understand that that is a bit much. I
I mean,
understand.
you could just take the saliva and make them not able to breathe at all. You block up the air passages. Well,
Oh,
people they're not creative when they create water powers. They just want to do the stream water attacks.
I
Like,
think because water power is like literally because our bodies are 70% water, having someone in a show with a water ability, just not even killing people like in a very flashy, like flamboyant fashion, like them just,
yeah,
if they just make the water in your body come out. They don't want to be like X-Men I think that's what it is. I don't. I think
Speaking
they are
of
like. Eh.
mhm. Speaking of X-Men, you get the crazy mutants. How about a shark merging with a sword?
Let's
Kisame.
go, Kitsumi. Yeah, dude.
Kisame
I love him.
Hoshigaki. Oh boy, where do we even start with Kisame? Oh
Well, he's
gosh,
a shark man, so we can start there. Like
he's
we
only
can start with
he's
that
only mostly
nightmare.
a shark when he merges with his sword.
What
You
do
have
you
to keep
mean?
that in mind.
His whole appearance is literally a shark.
Yeah, but he takes on the actual embodiment of the shark when he merges with the sword. Sengetsu.
Yes, but I'm saying even when we see him
Yeah,
like walking around with
yeah,
Itachi, he he does have like a shark head, shark
yeah.
features.
He does.
Yeah,
But he's just
and
crazy strong in the achievements that he has as well.
oh, absolutely. Adasuki don't mess around. They are out here dropping bodies consistently.
And also Naruto, it's a big known name in Shinobi, Great Wars, Jinchuriki, Tail Beast, all of that involves what Naruto is. But in Kisame's case, he is very empirical in the villain side aspect. You know, he has the title Monster of the Hidden Mist. He also has I think the title of No Tail Beast, if I'm mistaken, because his chakra is just insanely comparable to a Jinchuriki's chakra level.
Mm-hmm.
Just talk about his chakra level, first of all. The heck is going on with the No Tail Beast? That's his nickname, also. Where
Yeah,
do you
he's
get from that?
well, he has like he has so much chakra reserves. So in
Yeah.
Naruto, they do it like if you watch Naruto
Mhm.
like the tuning exams, the very first like three
Yeah.
seasons or so, you will see how they explain how chakra runs through your body, how you can have reserves of it, how you replenish it. And for Kisame, it's like it's basically like the equivalent of mana. And he has like about 30% the equivalent of Naruto, who literally has a demon inside of him. And if Naruto's our hero and you meet someone who's one third of his power, um, and this is like Naruto full power. When we first meet Kisame, Naruto is nowhere near being able to unlock that much and being able to control it. So it's insane because you're thinking he's outside, by the way. Like we every time we
Yeah.
see him, he's traveling around like he's like on vacation, just going from village to village. Also, of course, with Itachi, and just absolutely obliterating people.
Oh
And
yeah.
even when he isn't in Stark form, the giant sword that he has with him, and just his appearance alone, he's super fast, he's super quick,
Oh yeah.
and he's just I don't know, he's just destructive. Just absolutely just the monster of a man, literally.
And he's also on the title Monster of the Hidden Mist because he was a former shinobi of the Seven Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist. Basically, that story is how he came to join Akatsuki. Uh, I think it was the story of Pattinson battle. He had to, in order to save information from people telling I think, uh, before to avoid them getting captured, he killed them, which is deadly by itself. And
Hmm.
he had to respect his attitude to saving the mission because this is ninja, by the way. They would rather uh, to protect information, basically like uh, a form of Bushido code. They'll take their own life before they give the information to the enemy. And it's very evident in Naruto that they will do that. They do it on multiple times, or they will go to extreme lengths to protect such information, like uh, Kisame did when he betrayed when he found that his unit was being captured, he killed them all to avoid information spreading.
As one does.
And
Things
that's
you talk about at
pretty
work
much
parties.
why he was partnered with Itachi, just because Itachi can keep him in check, because he has that history of basically betraying his partners or alliances.
Yeah,
But
Itachi is able to actually like if they were to get into something,
oh
Itachi
yeah,
can take care of him. Um that's really important, and that's the one thing I will say about the Atatsuki. They do the way they team up,
oh yeah,
their pairs of villains, like
yeah,
it really does make sense, and it's very balanced. And it's also funny because they always have like conflicting personalities, like Itachi
oh
being
yeah,
very quiet and being very like reserved and observant, while Kisame is very loud. He's always
yeah,
ready for like some action. He does not care. He's the type to laugh
oh
at
yeah.
you during battle. He will not cry.
I
And
also
he
feel
with
like Kisame with Itachi, that's like the main sole reason why he continued to stay in Itachi because of his relationship with Itachi. It's super interesting to know the dynamic between them, because Itachi would literally tell him to retreat, and he will reluctantly retreat, given if Itachi told him to do it. He looks to him on every instructions, because he also knows that Itachi is actually better than him in combat, so he knows that he can probably lose. So he probably should listen to Itachi in that way.
well, yeah. I mean, you got to remember that these
Yeah,
are people who are in a terrorist organization in this world,
yeah.
where like while they have no loyalty to the clans that they left behind, even though they're with this
Well,
group, they
yeah.
will and can murder each other at any time. That's with any
Well,
like
yeah.
league of villains.
But I feel like Kisame, the only motivation to stay is Itachi, and the only person that he would take orders from is Itachi, like
Oh, for sure.
specifically Itachi. And I feel like that in the end, Kisame has been moving from thing to thing with no affiliation of like meaning to his his life. When he's with Itachi, he finds that meaning. He finds that belonging. That he actually is not meaningless. It actually has meaning to it.
I don't think it's that he thinks life is meaningless. I mean, when
No,
you
it's
have
not
to
like
kill your own
yeah,
team,
yeah,
he even said so himself. Like he doesn't
yeah,
know how to categorize himself. Is he a friend
yeah,
or a foe? Because like their ninja ways not to give up information, and you know your team's going to be tortured if you're like basically the
yeah.
captain or you're the strongest.
Itachi's
He
been
probably
very influential.
yeah yeah. So I think, and also like Itachi
Yeah,
himself killed the Uchiha clan. So I
yeah, yeah.
think they both have a very strong similarity understanding of each other because of their shared past. Like how they even got to be there
Oh yeah.
is kind
Also,
of yeah.
uh, do it basically the anti hero equivalent of justice. That's basically what they both did. The anti hero of justice. Take matters in your own hands to protect what you stand for, or stuff like that. And also,
Yeah, but they're
he
still
also said he's
terrorists.
very yeah, yeah, yeah. He is.
Like you're making a strong speech, but they're still terrorists. We gotta
Okay,
remind people of that. Yeah, I know everybody likes the jackets, but
yeah, but
don't
okay.
let
Given
merch.
give in mind that Tachi was literally told by the village to do it, and he's just following orders, while Kisame did his own. He was under the assumption of orders, but he wasn't directly told. So there is a difference. Um, but
There is a
let's go
difference.
to yeah. What?
Do
Oh,
you want to talk about its abilities?
yeah. He's quite sadistic and demonstrate no hesitation manipulating his opponents. That's another aspect of, but that's also shark tendencies. Sharks are very aggressive, don't really care who you are.
Yeah. For him, it's like if you're strong enough or if you're defend away,
Yep.
he's totally fine with killing you, which is
Oh
where you
yeah.
have that like. that very clear difference between anyone else who may have gone rogue or just gone on the run, and then being in the Adatsuki. Like they're very fine. They're completely okay with taking out a village or a squad of ninjas tracking them,
Oh
constantly
yeah,
running from the Anbu. But they do not shy from most fights, I would say.
yeah,
And I mean, like, there's some really good fights with Kiss Me that you see. Of course, you see him go up against like Naruto and Sasuke. I think at like this Kakashi at one point. But then they
yeah,
go against Guy Sensei. Like Kiss Me
yeah.
versus Guy Sensei is such a
The guy sensei
insane
doesn't remember him at all.
dude. It's an insane, ridiculous fight. And you're like, how do you not remember? Because it's
This
like
is like the third time not remembering him. It's funny.
it's I
Hey,
get the insult. I get it. Especially because you do get to see one of Kissime's like biggest moves
yeah,
for
water
the super
prison.
shark bomb
Oh
and
yeah.
the water
Oh gosh.
prison. But Naruto is definitely one of those shows where when you're like, is that a feat? That is definitely a feat. That is
Oh
put it
yeah.
on the board. This is a Hall of Famer. And you get to see that with Kisame. You get to see why he is considered a no tails beast because the amount of power and chakra that he's able to expand out to fight is just it's terrifying. And he's very sharp and he's very precise.
And don't
He
forget.
can predict he can predict your moves. Mm-mm.
Oh yeah. Don't forget his sword can also, if they get physical contact with you, can basically suck away your chakra as well. The
Yep.
reason why he wields it, he has so much access that the sword drains him. The basically the way in which it drains him doesn't really affect him.
No.
It's another
He's
reason
he's
why
an
the
absolute
sword, when the fight with Killer B, favors Killer B over him. Yet Killer B has more chakra of the eight tails.
I love Killer Bee.
Oh my gosh! And then you can
I
see that
love
he
him.
has the sword that Kisame had. It's like, oh, and then you see Itachi's like, oh, you have Kisame's sword. So Itachi actually had the acknowledgement of what happened. It's really weird when that happens. I'm not going to say any more because it gets into more plot lines later in the storyline.
Hmm.
Um, why Itachi sees it. But anyway, back to Kisame. I don't know. I feel like he has all the sharks that he can summon. Like, not only has the shark bomb, but also the water prison, like immobilizes you to move. He also can summon a bunch of sharks at will, like
Which is kind
summoning
of what I
jutsu
want to see.
sharks. What, you want to
Like
see
that's
him
a
in real life summoning sea sharks in a giant ball of water?
no in the Naruto universe. If somebody has like a very specific
Yeah,
characteristic about them, like Shino, who is literally
uh,
like this quiet guy who's all about bugs.
yeah,
Um, um, yeah, I want to see him summon a crap ton of bugs. And oh my god, I can't think of Gaara's brother's name. Was it like Kankuro? He's like the
yeah,
puppet dude. I want to
yeah.
see some puppets. So if you look like a shark and your ability is shark stuff, yeah, Sharknado boy, get out there. Show me what you got. Like
Sharknado! Oh my gosh!
we're going bigger, we're
Oh,
going home.
Sharknado! Sharknado! Oh gosh, Sharknado is
American
low
classic. I
budget,
understand. I
such a
understand.
low budget cringe movie that you literally watch on sci-fi, and just the entire reason why it's famous is people will do a watchathon and have a live reaction of the craziness of the movie. That's the only reason why it did so well.
It's
Oh,
great. It's an American classic. Sit down with your family, enjoy it.
you sit down and you just it's so ridiculous you want to watch it. That's the only appeal. I don't know any other appeal other than that why people watch it. Oh boy.
American
But
cinema, man.
yeah, that's well. So it's either that or Jaws. So American classic.
No, we're past the generation of Jaws. We now live with
Oh, you're
Sharknado.
past the generation of Jaws.
Yeah, no
Jaws
longer can we can be satisfied with one shark or maybe two. Now we need 1,000. It's like, yeah,
Or you could have
yeah.
that movie with the movie with the twin-headed shark. That was good too.
Oh man, sci-fi has lot of good trash movies.
Yeah,
Oh, they have so many good ones.
good C tier and maybe B tier. Oh gosh.
Oh, at the bottom of the alphabet, we're at Q and P for some of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, something technique. A thousand feeding sharks. That the water release 1,000 feeding shark is literally what it's called.
But
That
you can
sounds
actually see
crazy.
why he's on the Atasuki. Like all of
Yeah.
his abilities would tear apart a normal shinobi. Like
Oh yeah.
it even no matter what your skill level is, you everybody can consider him somebody to be like, oh, okay, he has a little bit more. He's
Oh
not just
yeah.
throwing kunais and like, you know,
Oh no. He's
ugh.
summoning sharks and having a giant wave of sharks coming at you. They actually use in the show 1,000 sharks as a diversion for the scroll that he was collecting information for. So that is also a key point there. Find a scroll on one shark and 1,000 sharks. You're gonna find the right shark. It's like literally 1,000 ways to play whack a mole. Here I am. Here I disappear. You know.
The man knows how to play it up for an audience.
I
If anything,
love how
you're
you
gonna
just
get one thing from
volunteered.
him.
I love how you just volunteered to fight. How he found that Mike Guy would be on the expedition when they were trying to distract enough time to extract the one tail beast from Gala. He was just okay. I'll volunteer to fight Mike Guy. He remembers the last time they fought, and they just volunteered and distracted everybody on the mission. Just to, and he also has the best success rate of capturing tail beasts too. I think he has helped capture 3 tail beasts more than any other Ataxi member. So keep that in mind.
I mean, with his nickname, he might as well.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta live up to that reputation.
Oh man, but this I think that's a good turning point of water users in anime. We discussed a
Yep.
lot, and water is very versatile. It's very versatile, and the way people use it varies from user to user. So I'll keep in mind that water is probably the second most powerful element other than Earth. Earth, I think, is a little bit more powerful because Earth can actually disrupt the water and basically geological factor. But other than that, I think water is the second strongest, and then wind is probably third strongest, and then fire is fourth strongest. You think that's a good comparison?
Uh, yeah, I'd give it that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think I might put fire over air just for the simple fact
yeah,
that if a fire user and an air user is like competing or battling, the fire can grow because air is being used, or they could try and suck the air out.
yeah.
But a lot of fire users we've seen them go up against someone with air abilities, and a lot of the times they do win. They
Yeah.
do take them out. So, but everybody on this list has like great feats, and you can watch all of them do their thing. I think most of them you can just watch on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Just,
Sailor
yeah,
Mercury, Sailor Moon, Tanjiro, Kotaido, from Demon Slayer, Tsumi from Sakura, and then Kisame from Naruto. So you know what? This concludes the episode of Water Elements and Water Users in Anime. I have nothing else to say. Do you have anything else to say, Leah?
I have nothing else to say. We've done it.
Well, look, hope we see you guys again. And who knows? We might do something interesting in the next episode. So you just have to stay tuned and see.
Stay tuned, guys. Talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.